Tonight, tributes for a father and daughter who drowned over Easter and renewed calls for the duplication of the Port Augusta Highway.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news begins now.
Good evening. Tributes are flowing for a man and his daughter who drowned near Cape Carno over the Easter weekend. The tourists were on holiday from Adelaide and were swept out to sea after being hit by a freak wave. Nathan Regter has more.
A tragic end to the Easter weekend. Rescuers retrieving the bodies of a young father and his 5-year-old daughter who'd been swept out to sea and drowned. The pair was part of a group who were visiting the area from Adelaide, travelling down to Cape Carno near Whalers Way Sanctuary, 40 kilometres south of Port Lincoln. The group taking photos of nearby cliffs when a freak wave hit the pair, dragging the father and daughter out to sea. The alarm being raised just after 1:30.
We had people on scene just after 2 o'clock. And we had the helicopter in the air over the scene at around 3:30.
Emergency services saying rough terrain and limited mobile phone reception made it difficult to locate and access the area. A major search on land, water and air was launched to try and find the missing pair, rescuers finding the child's body Sunday evening.
By the time they got to a point where they could start to look at recovering the male, they had lost light and also lost sight of the male themselves.
The fathers found Monday morning. Police say the area is a popular spot for tourists as a previous group went out on the same rock immediately before the wave hit the father and daughter.
There is a warning sign immediately before on the path down to this rock, which talks about the danger of the sea and also mentions the number of fatalities which have occurred in that area in the past.
SES, police and families paying tribute yesterday afternoon with the reopening of Whalers Way, laying down a rose for each of the lives lost. A tragedy so close to home felt throughout the entire region, a devastating end for all those involved.
Port Augusta locals are echoing calls from the Civil Contractors Federation to duplicate a stretch of the Augusta Highway. The problem road is in the firing line again, days after a head-on which killed 2 truck drivers.
It's the road which runs up the spine of South Australia, but over the weekend it was the scene of an Easter tragedy. The smouldered wreckage of 2 trucks, the result of a head-on collision which claimed the lives of 2 young men. One a 31-year-old from Port Augusta, the other a 35-year-old from Campbelltown. The exact circumstances of that crash are still under investigation, but those who use the road say it needs an upgrade.
It's pretty dangerous, really dangerous, especially for trucks.
Some of the roads are pretty rough as well.
The 2 fatalities adding to the highway's road toll, which in the last 5 years has seen nearly 200 injuries and 22 deaths.
People are being killed with great regularity on that road.
The 200-kilometre stretch between Port Wakefield and Port Augusta is now in the firing line, with renewed calls for its duplication.
The Augusta Highway is not keeping pace with the society and economic needs.
The Civil Contractors Federation want to see the federal and state governments convert the highway into 4 lanes, which has been previously estimated by the RAA at a cost of $2 billion.
If we had 2 lanes going in each direction, these head-on collisions just would not occur.
The government, once they get past Port Wakefield, they don't think we exist.
It says the project would have wider long-term benefits for the region.
It would create 200 or 300 jobs. It would stimulate the economy regionally well beyond the project.
The state government says it's doing everything it can to reduce the state's road toll, but is not considering the duplication in the immediate future.
The work now is to look at the highest priority areas. So we'll do that work and that'll be based on evidence and feedback.
Garth Burley, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Port Lincoln Police is investigating a robbery over the weekend. Just after midnight on Sunday, a house in Oxford Terrace was broken into while the occupants were asleep. The thieves allegedly stealing the resident's car, a white 2009 Holden Commodore. South Australian Police encouraging anyone with information to come forward or to contact Crime Stoppers anonymously. 2 men will soon face court after being caught allegedly hoon driving in Cowell yesterday morning. Police received a number of calls from locals reporting cars doing burnouts on the Lincoln Highway and Kimber Road. Inquiries led police to two local residents aged 21 and 25 who were reported for misuse of a motor vehicle. One vehicle was impounded while the other was clamped, with the men to be summoned to appear in court at a later date. Staff at Port Augusta Hospital say they feel proud after its acute care nursing course students took out the state's Country Health People's Award. The program educates staff on how to manage their most vulnerable patients.
A valued course within Port Augusta's hospital ranks, now recognised as one of the best in the entire state. The staff still on cloud nine since the acute care nursing course received Country Health's People's Award 2 weeks ago.
To actually win it, we were extremely surprised. We did not expect that.
The 16-week course trains nurses to help manage patients in the high dependency unit, focusing on cannulation, airway management and clinical care competencies.
They do their advanced life support. They're able to look after patients that are ventilated, can't breathe for themselves and things like that.
In its 25th year, around 55 medicos have undergone the training. Kelly Myers and Lisa Curtis have been front and centre for over a decade and say the hands-on experience has led to the program's longevity.
Read ECGs and things like that is invaluable, and it's skills that you take with you forever.
The two highlighting the importance of offering staff top-notch skills to help manage some of the hospital's most vulnerable patients.
We're giving people the confidence to treat these people because it is very scary.
The future is looking bright for the Port Augusta course, with the session due to commence in the coming months. But staff say they'd love to see other hospitals in the region create their own similar programs.
May want to try and make their own course. I think it's quite valuable, it's upskilling.
Garth Burley, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us. Still to come tonight, a basketball stadium to receive a $44,000 makeover, and the Salt Festival spicing up Port Lincoln. Welcome back. Port Perry's basketball stadium is set to receive some long-awaited upgrades to its facilities. More than $44,000 will be spent repairing structural damage to the building's offices.
When it comes to funding, Port Perry's Basketball Association has received a slam dunk. A grant has been secured through the Community Sporting Infrastructure Grant Program for a structural facelift to the sporting facility.
$44,310 will be the complete rebuilding cost of the office area.
The front corner of the block has been gradually sinking into the soil. Cracks have formed from the ground up, exposing the interior to the outside elements.
Due to weather conditions outside and the likes, our administration area's fallen on one side and we needed to fix it up.
It's a sigh of relief for the association, which originally thought it would have to increase club fees to be able to afford to pay off the repairs, and was fearful that a price hike might affect future membership.
A very strong participation. We try to keep our fees as low as possible to encourage that participation, and without this sort of funding, we'd have to raise our fees.
The club is hoping to fast-track construction so the offices can return to being fully operational.
Of course, if you want your sporting associations to run well, you want a good administration area. So I think that's, it's really good expenditure. It's money back into communities.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A new marketing development will give Flinders and outback wool growers the chance to have their products recognised throughout the world. The Australian Wool Network has introduced QR codes on the swing tags of garments, allowing customers to scan the code and understand where the wool came from. History of the sheep, the shearers and the fibre in the Flinders region are all part of the modern marketing step, which is hoped will further engage customers with the product. While community groups looking for extra funding now have an opportunity, the local Young Tradesmen and Professionals organisation has opened applications for this year's Charity Ball partner.
A fun event with a serious purpose. The charity ball has raised thousands of dollars since 2008. Run by the Young Tradesmen and Professionals Group, it aims to help various local organisations struggling for financial support.
An organisation, or they've got a cause, or they are part of a charity, or just pretty much any, I suppose, association that's looking for funds.
It's back for another year, and organisers are now taking applications from local community groups looking to partner on the night. Ms Kennedy says they're keen to hear from all groups interested.
There is a lot of deserving groups out there, and of course we don't know all of them in Whyalla, so we'd love for them to get in contact.
Those interested are encouraged to outline how the funds will be used.
An outline of what their association or cause does. We'd love a list of achievements or goals that they have, just to give us an idea.
Previous winners have included the Whyalla Music Group, Defaces and drug support group Ripples. Funds are raised by a number of auctions on the night, with items donated by businesses across the city.
They donate items that we can auction off on the night, and that's where all the proceeds from the ball come from.
Applications can be made via the group's Facebook page. John Hunt, 7 Spencer Golf News.
This year's Whyalla Recording Scholarship holders have officially launched their debut singles. A launch party was held last night with guests including the local Mayor Claire McLaughlin. J. Lee Daniels, whose song is number 7 on the iTunes country music chart, says it's the opportunity of a lifetime.
To be able to record and release a song at only 15 is a dream come true for mine, and can be for many other young musicians as well. A lot of hours went into the recording process.
The 3 winners each performed their songs, which they've been working on since last year. The annual Salt Festival has officially kicked off for its 3rd year in Port Lincoln, with locals and tourists travelling to the coastal town to take part in celebrations. The 10-day festival aiming to showcase the creativity and uniqueness of the region.
A night of celebration as crowds gather for the launch of this year's Salt Festival.
Every day there's a whole range of events. So at this venue we've got comedy, we've got music, we've got writers, we've got 2 major music events.
The festival featuring ARIA award-winning artist Draft, supported by Adrian Eagle, and local band Ethnic Cowboys, set to hit the stage this weekend. Organisers say it will be one of the biggest music events to hit the region.
So many people here. So many creative people here as well. It's going to be 10 incredible days.
Artist Joseph Puglisi and his Coastal Air exhibition featuring at the Salt Shaker venue. These portraits are a result of years of dedication and hard work.
These images probably span over 4 years. So yes, it's not that I've just concentrated on this, it's just that they were a few hero shots that I had put together.
His work will be on show for the entire festival, along with his photography book, capturing some of his most unique shots. Mr. Puglisi also hosting some information sessions about his work.
I'm going to be talking about what's actually behind the book, and a bit on photography, and my ideas on photography, and a bit about constructing all this.
With workshops on Indigenous culture, Moroccan craftsmanship, stargazing and music, there'll be something for everyone. Comedians Fabian Clark and Kel Barnaves hosting their shows fresh from the Adelaide Fringe Festival.
It's going to be funny. The main thing is going to be funny. Everyone's going to have a laugh. Relatable, good gear. Yeah.
For more information on shows and tickets, visit the Salt Festival Facebook page. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Young Australians are being asked to take part in a nationwide survey aimed at tackling some of the big issues facing teenagers. The survey offering 15 to 19-year-olds the chance to talk about disability, bullying and political decisions. The program providing better understanding of the thoughts, concerns and aspirations of young Australians. To take part in this year's survey, visit the Mission Australia website. Still to come tonight, details on a new boxing fight night soon to be held in Whyalla, and Britt will have the region's weather details. Welcome back. Whyalla will host a new boxing fight night next month, with Iron Gloves replacing the traditional Shins of Steel kickboxing event. The promoter says the time was right for the change, with gyms from all over the state expected to compete.
For over a decade, Shins of Steel was a major fixture on the local sporting calendar. Kickboxers from all over the country fought at the event, while a number of locals got the chance to perform in front of their home crowd. However, promoter Justin Fennell says the time has come to throw in the towel.
After 11 years of doing the Shins of Steel, it's time for a change, try to mix it up.
Boxing will return to Whyalla in its place after a decade's absence. Iron Gloves will be held at the Leisure Centre on the 11th of May. Competitors from regional and metropolitan SA will be pitted against each other.
It's going to be sort of a country versus metro sort of fight night, which is going to be interesting.
Fighters from Port Augusta, Port Pirie and Port Lincoln will take part as well. Mr Fennell's Warlocks Gym will have a number of fighters on the card. With just 3 weeks left until the show, they're in the final stages of preparation and training.
7 guys from my gym alone, which are going to be putting everything into it. They don't get this opportunity to fight in front of their hometown.
Jesse Jones is expected to be a headline act. He's just returned from a tournament in Samoa and has been a state representative in the past. Previously a kickboxer, he's using the event to get ready for the Australian Championships later this year.
Mostly I'm training for the Nationals, that's up in October, but this fight is just going to be a really enjoyable fight, and I'm working really hard just to impress the home crowd.
I'm happy to be able to put on a fight night where he can showcase his skills.
Tickets are available from the gym and the Middleback Arts Centre. John Hunt, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Now let's take a look at the region's weather. Here's Britt.
Thanks, Louise. We've had a mostly clear day about the Gulf. Port Augusta with a top of 25, Whyalla sunny and 22, Port Lincoln 21, Broken Hill showers and 22, Port Pirie 25, Adelaide 22. Looking to the satellite now with a large high pressure system keeping skies mostly clear. On the coast, southeasterly winds tending southwesterly at up to 20 knots, and tomorrow's sunrise is due just after 6:45 with sunset at 5:48 in the evening. Port Augusta looking sunny tomorrow with a top of 26, Whyalla clear and 23, Port Lincoln partly cloudy and 22, Coffin Bay morning fog clearing to a partly cloudy day 19, Woodner mostly sunny 24, Corn 25, Broken Hill a shower otherwise partly cloudy and 25, Port Pirie sunny with morning fog 24, Cleve and Clare both 22, Kadina sunny and 23, Adelaide 22. Moving further ahead through the week, Port Lincoln with foggy mornings ahead, Thursday partly cloudy and 23, Friday looking cloudy. Cleve looking mostly sunny on Thursday 23, 19 the top Friday and Saturday. Woodner mostly sunny and 24 on Thursday with some morning fog about. Thursday looking sunny at Whyalla, a top of 23, Friday partly cloudy with a possible shower and 21. A sunny Thursday on the way for Port Augusta, 26 degrees, Friday and Saturday maximums dropping down to 22. Kadina partly cloudy on Thursday with some possible morning fog. Port Pirie with morning fog on Thursday, sunny through the day, a top of 23, tops in the 20s into the end of the week. Clare sunny and 22 on Thursdays, then sitting in the late teens. Broken Hill 25 on Thursday, looking sunny Friday and Saturday. And that's all from me for today, Louise. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Britt. And that's your local news this Tuesday evening. We thank you for joining us. We'll have updates again later, but until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.